What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's your boy Capper with Twitter with Steve, coming to you after TGL to talk about the AMEX best bets. Steve, did you watch the TGL?
I did. I finally got a little bit of free time to watch most of TGL. We'll talk about our thoughts about it. I think the biggest takeaway is clearly the elite play of Kevin Kisner and just how much he contributes to the Jupiter Golf Links. That was I was actually starting to think, could a threesome of you, me, and Cameron take down the team of Tiger and Kisner if Kisner had to hit all the tee shots and iron shots and Tiger had to putt everything? I think we might have a chance, actually.
I don't think so, dude. I think you're vastly overestimating how we would play in front of Tiger Woods, by the way. I wouldn't hit one shot decent because I'd be terrified because Tiger would be damn.
Well, I didn't see anything really decent out of either of those guys. You see the putts that Tiger was missing about a foot outside there. That was pretty brutal there.
Homa stinks too.
You know, I mean, I made the take on Andy's major pod that I was worried if Homa was washed. And it seems like just Jupiter Links is just the team that just washed, which makes sense. People go down to retire down to Jupiter. So it makes sense if it's the guys past their prime or on that team. But no, in all seriousness, I guess, what do you think about TGL? It's been a week now. You know, we've had two competitions, two blowouts. Has your opinion changed maybe a little bit since last week after seeing two of these things, or are you still relatively out on it?
I'm 100% out on it. I think it fucking stinks. I think the concept is good. Like, I think some of the technology is cool, like when, like, the way they're hitting it around the green, like things like that. But dude, both of these games with blowouts are way too fucking long. Like, this does not need to be 15 holes. Like my wife says about mini golf. This is why she doesn't do mini golf with me and the kids. She's like, why is it 18 holes? Like, this is way too long. 15 holes is way too long. Cut it down to 9. Keep it to an hour. Keep the shot clock, and then maybe I can still watch it in the background. But man, even with Tiger, like, there was juice at the beginning of this thing, but man, it was not good.
I think I just kind of fall somewhere in the middle on it. There's nothing that gets me excited other than seeing someone really screw up.
Right.
Like someone hitting a horrible shot that hits it way off to a canyon. Like, that's fun. That's good for a chuckle.
Yeah.
There's nothing I hate about it, though. There's not, like, when I sat there watching and I was just content. I feel like that's.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. I just think it's too long, man. And I'm, you know me, I do not like sitting around and like, I just feel like it's way too long. It's way too much of a time suck. Like, it was an hour. Like I said, I think I could probably get behind it on like a random Tuesday night when all the sports are on. I can be on it. They need to tweak it a little bit. Teams need to be a little better. Like, you can't have Kevin Kisner on the team. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. So,
yeah. Well, they made these teams 2 years ago, I think, after the President's Cup when Kisner was still relevant. And then, remember, this should have happened last year.
Yeah.
And then the dome collapsed. And you are seeing what happens when a short hitter who relies mostly on accuracy and wedge play just gets older and just loses it. This is what happens to golfers, and that's why they kind of wash out, you know, by the time they're mid 40s or early 40s, but then they emerge back again on the Champions Tour, and then they're awesome. Kevin Kisner is going to be a great Champions Tour player. I can't wait to bet him at the Cologuard Classic or something.
The Cologuard Classic, is that a thing? It's going to be, right?
It is. It's I'm stealing this bit, but it's the Dump in the Box Classic. That's what they call it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting to the age where I think I'm going to have to shit in a box. Now they want you to do it at like 45.
Yeah, there is. But I mean, you know, I enjoyed the commentary from Homa. I thought he was, you know, catching him on the hot mic was good.
Yeah.
But the overall group of golfers they have, it's tough.
When Justin Rose is your most likable player, you know you have a problem.
Well, I also think Colin Morikawa was taking it way too seriously. I don't think I saw him smile.
No way. Colin Morikawa was uptight. So shocked. So
no.
shocked.
And by the way, you are validated by your eye test on his around the green game, despite the fact that the stats say otherwise. I thought about you as he hit a horrible bunker shot, a horrible shot off the tight lines. I'm like, you know what? I see what you mean now, that under pressure, under the bright lights of the TGL with Brandon Marshall and Alex Morgan watching you, you know, I guess Colin Morikawa just crumbles at that point around the green. So congratulations to you. Boston Capper 1, Steve Shermer 0 on golf takes. Yes. You were proven correct tonight on him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see next week. Like I said, like, so I don't know if we were on that. I don't know if it was just our group chat with Andy and all the boys, but I think the first night when I said this is going to be XFL, like I said, I'm dating myself. Like he hate me. Everything was huge. I remember watching with my uncle, all my cousins, all my friends. We were all packed around watching it. Thought it was awesome. Week 2, half the crowd. Week 3, we forgot it fucking existed. So I think Rory playing next week will give some pop, but I mean, is Rory really move the fucking needle? Like, I don't know. Not really.
I don't know. Can I make an XFL side comment, by the way?
Yeah.
Because my dad is watching. He's going to be very happy that I bring up this story. So
Okay.
he's a financial advisor. And, you know, 8th grade me, you know, WWE fan. And I knew the XFL was coming. And I told him, I said, look, this thing's got a lot of hype. And this is when WWE just went publicly traded at that point. And I told him,
it was still WWF, wasn't it?
Yeah, so WWF. I said, I think you should buy WWF. And then the moment, and this is maybe the best thing I've ever said, the best take. I told him in 8th grade, the moment kickoff happens, you need to sell that entire stock. And he actually made a pretty good profit off of that. So, yeah. Dad, congratulations if you're watching this. I'm very happy I could shoehorn that story.
I can picture
into the show.
I could picture Mr. Shermer sitting in his meeting and trying to advise, you know, Mrs. Carroll, who's fucking 85 years old, that, you know, she's to diversify a little bit and add a little WWF stock.
Exactly.
Back in the day, by the way, there was no flat trading back then. You were getting like a 2% rip on those fucking stock trades, sir. It wasn't a 5.95 trade. It was a 2% of the total, maybe 3, depending on what bracket you were in. Those were the days, sir. Those were the days.
Yeah, I cannot wait to hear his commentary after this. But no, I mean, I heard a take too about where this is going with TGL. That because I agree. I think this is probably 2 seasons and it's done. I don't think it has a big shelf life, but I think what they're really after, and I'm stealing this take. It's not an original thought, but I think it was a smart take. Is that what's the big selling point with this thing? Technology, right? About the greens and the simulator. It would be very easy to spin this off and try and compete with Top Golf at that point and try and franchise this. And this maybe this is all just one giant commercial for eventually rolling it out into the masses. And that's how these guys collect a paycheck at that point and get paid. Is once these things are franchised, that's when the real money comes in, because I don't see how the players would want to sign up for this for more than 2 years. I don't really see where the audience would stick around, because the competition, I mean, maybe if we get some good matches, my opinion will change, but I don't see where, from a competitive standpoint, of taking this seriously, it could keep people around.
I don't particularly care. I kind of like that they keep it light. You know what I mean? Like, they're breaking balls. So, like, I'm fine with that. Like, the last thing I need is these assholes to be tight in front of a fucking green screen and show zero personality. Their personalities aren't anything good to begin with anyway. So, like, at least give me a little bit. Like, the fact, once again, I always say the fact that Max Homa is like the funniest golf guy is a fucking tragedy, because he is not funny. And
well, that's the thing. I don't think the personalities are very compelling, to be completely honest.
No, they're not. They're not. That's why I said this is probably Justin Rose.
By the way, we still have yet to see Cam Young play in TGL. You know, Mr. Smiles on that team. So
I thought I was a grumpy old man. That guy's like 28 and acts like he's fucking 50. It's crazy.
All right. I think we can move on.
Are we be done with TGL?
I think we are. Maybe we'll talk about if we get a good match next week, maybe we'll bring it up. Maybe we'll be a little more hyped about it. But
I will. So I'll tell her. So I'm gonna check my Bruins score real quick. Yeah, they're still winning somehow. They're still winning, because I bet whatever Tigers team isn't. So I bet that, and then I parlayed it because I didn't want to pay the 170 juice. And of course, my Bruins, who can't fucking fall out of a boat and hit the water, are winning tonight. So great.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to AMEX, another very exciting tournament.
Yes.
I mean, as I talked about on the Sunday show, this tournament has been kind of a bit of a snoozer. It's jammed in between the Hawaii swing and when the PGA Tour, I feel like, really starts at Torrey Pines. With a big boy difficult golf course. We get, you know, a piece of shit putting contest, as John Rahm affectionately called it. But you know, it's a good field. Even without Scotty Scheffler, even without Xander Schauffele, who withdrew with a minor injury apparently. So that really shook up the odds board. Your tournament favorite now is Sung Jae Im. But before we get to the odds board, though, obviously I went on a big monologue on Sunday about what to look for at this place, how the recent changes to the greens might impact what we see at the stadium course compared to other years. Obviously, Andy has done a great job previewing on his show as well. I also shared in the Discord another article about the changes to the greens. It went into a little more detail. I shared my thoughts there. That's another incentive to maybe go sign up for Inside Sports, become an insider, come join us on the Discord. We're always talking about golf. We got a lot of sharp minds out there, and that's where the only place you can hear me give my thoughts, because I'm not on Twitter. So I gave my thoughts there. We talked about it. So I'll kick it back over to you. You've digested stuff for about 48 hours. You've watched this tournament for years. We've talked about it for 4 or 5 years at this point. Why don't you just talk about general high level, where are you going with your betting card this week? What types of things are you valuing the most?
I mean, so I feel like what you talked about with like the stadium course change, I just wonder how much that's actually going to change the scoring, right? I don't know. This thing becomes kind of a slog, right? Thursday through Saturday. Sunday's at least halfway decent because it speeds up and the amateurs are gone. But no, I mean, I feel like everything you talked about, right? Like you got to have good approach play, and you have to be able to get hot with the putter. Even if scoring gets tougher at the stadium course, it's still just like sawgrass. Like you still have to be able to putt, and you can still run it up here, right? Water everywhere. So yeah, I mean, just kind of, I mean, really everything that you talked about. This tournament's wide open. Who won last year? Like 200 something won. Who was it?
It was Nick Dunlap.
Yeah, Dunlap, right? And oh wait, this is
it should have been Sam Burns, but it was Nick Dunlap.
I know, put it in the fucking drink. Oh yeah, this is when your boy Bez technically got the win.
Yes, it was. It was. First place money.
Yeah, I mean, you can see anybody come from anywhere. I mean, I was kind of looking all over the place. Like I told you, so I've been super busy this week. Wife out of town. I'm down people at work. I'm doing multiple jobs, and I'm taking care of the kids myself. So I'm pretty burnt the fuck out. So I have a small betting card right now, and I was hoping you could shepherd me home this week, and maybe put me on some guys. I'm going to ask you about you should see the amount of names I have written down with check marks, X's, question marks. Yeah, it's a beautiful mind type thing in front of me.
All right, well, we're really going to test me on the fly. Can I improvise with the rando golfers that you're going to throw? Like, all right, well, where are they on my sheet?
You know me, I have my regular.
All right. Well, before we get Cam on here to go over the tip chart, I do want to say something about the scoring. I'll throw out a number. Over under to you. Over under average scoring at the stadium course minus 1.99.
Ooh. I'll say it'll go under.
Okay, so two under or better?
Yeah, 2 under. Yep.
Okay. You want charity bet that?
Nope.
I think because we talked about a point of reference, the changes that they did make to the greens this year are exactly what they did to the Nicklaus tournament course back in 2021. And that year, the Nicklaus actually played harder than the stadium course. There were some weather concerns, but it played only a stroke under par.
I remember that and being very upset and not understanding why. Because there's no shot link, and you're just blind following on fucking stupid PGA app.
Yeah. So I think the average score at stadium last year was like minus 2.8, minus 2.9. I think it's going to play about a shot harder this year. I think the new greens, I think what they can do, obviously it's going to be a little firmer. Now, how fast they run, we talked about that. There's a lot of things that they can do to slow down greens, but generally firmer greens do mean faster green speeds. So that might make it a little more of a challenge. The greens are about 20 to 30% bigger. That means they can put pins in more difficult spots, maybe tuck them a little more. So that is one way to control scoring, is just make pins not as accessible. Now you're probably only going to see that on Sunday when you get rid of the amateurs.
Yeah.
The first couple days, remember, they don't change where the pins are. Pins are the same spot the first 3 days. And because of the amateurs, they're probably going to be right in the middle of the green. So expect scoring to be pretty good on stadium course, the first day, but I would expect probably Sunday. I think they're going to put challenging pin positions, and I think it's going to be a difficult slog. I think you're going to have to earn it. The other thing I'm concerned about as well, I speculated about this in Discord. So as we talked about on Sunday, TBC Sawgrass, they have the little bumper. Can you mute that, by the way?
Yes,
what is that?
I had to plug my wife went out of town to stole my charger, and I realized my computer was about to die, so I had to plug it.
And now your mic is off. Oh boy, you really derailed the show, sir. That's fine. I'm going on monologue anyway, so I'll just talk while you fix everything. So what TBC Sawgrass does, what Sawgrass does is they have the big rough around the collar to prevent balls from going in the water. Here, it's all short grass. There's a little bit of fringe, but it's basically short grass. And what I'm wondering too is that tee box sits about 20 feet above the green, so it's going to come in from a high angle, but it's going to be carrying a lot of speed coming down. And if balls take a big first hop on the firm greens, because they redid that green, we could see a lot of just really big car crashes on 17, especially on Sunday. So if you're got a guy with like a 1-stroke lead, a 2-stroke lead on 17, hold your breath, because I think that green might play pretty difficult this week, unless they do something to like slow it down or they set a really easy pin position. But I would expect on Sunday, they probably tuck the pin, maybe over on the right. And maybe we see a bunch of car crashes and some big swings on the leaderboard. And maybe that's why we're end up going to see just a random person win, because they just kind of back into it like Nick Dunlap did last year.
Yeah. So, did Sam 18 or?
He went on the water on both holes, by the way. He killed me twice.
Right.
Yes, he did. He was tied with Dunlap on 17 and dumped in the water, where everyone informed me as I was bathing my child at that point.
What is the average approach going to be on 17?
It's like 170 yards. It plays 20 feet downhill. Yeah, it's longer than TBC Sawgrass. It's not a wedge. So, and it plays downhill, so the ball's going to carry a lot more momentum when it hits the turf. And if it's a really firm green, takes a bounce, that's going to be tough to either keep it out of the rocks or keep it out of the water. It could get dicey. Now, the fact that there's no wind, so it's going to be dome conditions, that's going to obviously make it pretty easy for, the entire tournament. I think Nicholas and La Quinta is going to play probably close to -3.5, -4 again. But stadium course, I think it's going to play, it's still going to play well under par, because these guys are really good now. But I think on Sunday, there's ways they could put pins in difficult positions to make it a little tricky for these guys. So we'll see what happens. All right. Capper is just gone at this point. So
yeah, I don't know if he knows how to fix his mic. So
okay.
He's probably doing that. So I will stay.
Okay. All right. So you are now the co-host. You are the co-captain now. I guess we'll play the tip jar. We'll just play with just me. And then yeah.
Well, how about we do all yours, and then if he comes back, then he can do all his.
Yeah, or I nail them all, and then he just forfeits, and I get a point for the season.
So if you haven't played this with us before, we look at the most tip chart on Twitter. So at Golf's tips checker, his name's Andy. He tallies up like every single Twitter tout, and there's over like 50 people that he gets all this data from, and then he compiles it all and finds the most tipped golfers on Twitter. And we're not saying you should fade these. Like, obviously some of these guys win, but it's just nice to know kind of what everyone else is thinking, so you can kind of play off that. So Steve and Capper will each get 3 guesses, and then the goal is to get all 8 this week. So between the two of them, get all 8 of the most tipped golfers without looking at it. All right, Steve, go.
He's back.
All right, I'm back, but here's the deal. I don't know how long this computer's going to last, but we'll give it a shot. Let's go.
Okay, great. All right, then I'll let you go first, since your computer might die soon.
Yeah. Shit. So most tipped golfer, we'll go with I'll go with Burns.
Yeah, he's number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will go with a guy who's gotten a lot of steam this week, Kurt Kitayama.
No.
What? I'm bad at this game now. I took like 5 months off, and now I'm bad at this game. All right, fine. Strike one for me.
Let's go with a little farther down the board. Straka again?
Straka is not on there.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
How about Eric Cole?
Eric Cole is not on there.
Seriously.
How? Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, I am terrible.
All right, I'll go with Zalatoris because the number's low.
Not on there.
Damn,
dude, this one's hard. Like honestly, like
Hard?
I haven't.
All right.
I've been on Twitter this week and I haven't seen a lot of these.
All right. How about?
Well, hold on. If you're in the chat, help him out on this last strike.
No.
no. Come on,
hints.
we're good.
We played this straight.
Yeah.
Harry Hall.
Harry Hall not on there.
Who is? Are people just picking randos this week?
Yeah,
wow.
man.
I am interested in seeing this chart then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a run, so just go through the chart.
Okay, just do it.
All right. Number 1 is Adam Hadwin.
Okay, fine. All right.
He is the only non-American on there. Number 2 was Burns. Number 3 was Tom Hoagie.
All right.
I said Hoagie. You said he wasn't on there.
You said Harry Hall, I thought.
No, I said Harry Hall.
Steve said that.
All right, whatever.
Okay.
It's fine.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry. Yeah, Hoagie was number 3. Number 4 was Mac Meisner.
Okay.
Again?
Number 5,
all right.
Adam Shank. Number 6.
Really?
Yeah, 100-1. Number
Holy
6,
shit.
Cam Young.
Oh.
Number 7, Lee Hodges.
Okay.
And number 8, the Twitter star, Michael Kim.
Oh. Okay.
What a weird list.
Very
I know,
strange
right?
list.
That's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Michael
50 different
Kim.
sources, 337 golfers.
Michael Kim. That's okay.
Yeah. Number 8.
Interesting.
Where's
And
he
he's
getting that?
he's like he's not even a small slice of the pie. Like he's a
I don't even think he even played all that great last week. All right.
Yep.
Well,
did he miss the cut?
he was cut. He lost 0.3 strokes on approach, gained a little off the tee. He was pretty accurate, but other than that, just not a whole lot.
Okay. Well then. All right. Well, thank you, Cam. Appreciate it. We embarrassed ourselves thoroughly in that one.
Well, I got 2 out of 3. Cam just wasn't fucking listening.
That's true. Well, you would have struck out with the other very
That's
quickly.
fair. There's no way I was
It's a
gonna
very
mess up.
random list. All right. Well, let's start top of the board then. So there's, I would say, 5 premium players. Well, there's 7 premium players. Like as far as like star power, I feel like Sanjay, JT, Burns, Cantlay, Finau, Tom Kim, Wyndham Clark. But as far as like recent winners, popular outrights, stuff like that. So any of those 7, I guess. Let's start here. Did you bet any of those guys outright? No. Of those 7, pick one that you would bet outright.
I would have bet Sanjay at like 20, but he opened up at like 16.
Yeah, well, now he's 12-1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would have. So I wouldn't bet any of them, but I guess at open, I would have thought about Sanjay. I'm not betting Burns. I'm not betting Cantlay. Wyndham. Do you think Wyndham fits here? I mean, I know he can get hot with the putter. I feel like his approach game.
So I think his course history is kind of up and down. He makes a lot of birdies. He's good from under 150, but pretty bad from between like 150 and 200. And I think that's probably why he's inconsistent here is a lot of those shots from 150 to 200. Those are the danger shots. So this is the stadium course, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of those are the danger shots. Those are the ones with like water green side, or it's a really difficult par 3. So if you're not good from that range, especially if you're loose with your proximity there, that's one where you can definitely incur a penalty stroke, or just, because you still have to score on a lot of these holes. That's when you can really cost yourself. So that's probably one reason why he's not all that great here. Otherwise, though, I mean, he's a good putter on overseed, makes a lot of birdies, eats up the par 5s. There's, with the firmer greens, it's going to help having a higher ball flight into these greens. And just general rule of thumb, just if you're a longer hitter, you're probably going to have a higher ball flight. So because you're hitting a shorter club, or you have a higher ball speed to get the ball in the air more. So I see why people like him. It's 35-1 is enticing. I did not go that direction. I went with someone else under 30-1, but I'm still picking your brain, Capper, because you don't have a full card. So if you didn't bet any of these guys outright, if you didn't bet any of them, positional, or maybe even considering anything positional, what about the matchup market? Is there anybody you're looking to maybe fade under here?
No, I kind of want to take Burns. I just didn't see who he lined up against good.
Okay. You want to take Burns in a
give me a match. Hey, I'm gonna switch for a second because this computer's gonna die, so I'm gonna switch to my phone. So just go through the match.
Okay. All right. All right. So guys he's paired up with the matchup market right now. You can get Burns minus 111 on BetMGM against Patrick Cantlay. So basically a coin flip there. Okay. So Burns minus 110 over Patrick Cantlay. Who are you taking? Capper, you're on mute. Burns. Okay. Burns plus 120 against Sung J M. Who are you taking?
I think I'll pass that one.
You're a pass on that one. You're afraid of Sung J's consistent course history here and just never ending string of top 20s.
Yeah, basically. And look, Burns, like we said, he could melt down. Like he should have won this thing last year and then crippled it and shot it straight into the goddamn water. Was that 16 or 17?
It was 17.
Yeah.
So no, I would agree with that. I think in a matchup against Sung Jae, who seems like he has a much higher floor, taking Burns there, you'd almost want to rather go for the positional, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
It's a little better. It's about the same odds he probably would get for like a top 20 or so. And you wouldn't have to worry about competing with Sung Jae M. And, Sung Jae just has a really high floor here. He's number one in my model. Obviously a great course history here. Great on the overseed. His iron play hasn't been as good from under 150 over the last year than it has been in the past. That's a little concerning, but he's okay from 150 to 200. His overall iron play, though, the last 50 rounds that he's played has been pretty good. So maybe there's just some bad data that's from like last January and February that's kind of making that number look worse. But high birdie rates, I can see why he's number one in my model. If you grabbed him at like 20-1 before, like Xander withdrew, congratulations.
When was the last time somebody 21 won here, or one of the top players?
Well, Rahm.
Oh yeah.
Rahm won a couple times.
Yeah.
So, there's been a mix of Rahm top of the board winning. There's been long shots, obviously. The Andrew Landrys, the Hudson Swaffords, the Nick Dunlaps. There's been Siwoo. There's also been guys who had really close calls win here, or come in second. Like Cantlay was a favorite, and he kind of just short the year he lost to Siwoo. Obviously, Burns last year, he was one of the favorites. You had like a guy like Abe Answer lose a closely contested one against Landry. So I think it just kind of depends on just who makes the most putts on Sunday and kind of luck of the draw at that point. I think just go with guys who you like this week. I don't think there's necessarily like, just load up on long shots or just load up on favorites. Just go with whoever you like, who fits whatever you're looking for this week. So
yeah.
All right. So you want to back Burns, basically.
Yeah, I like Burns. So he can get hot with the putter. His approach play got better last week. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. It's time for you to get disgusted with me. And honestly, I don't care because you hate every golfer on the PGA Tour that is
That's
not
not
named
fair.
Keegan or Rahm or Cam Smith. Like if they're just not one of those guys, you hate them. So whatever I say is going to disgust you.
That's fair.
So I personally am big on obviously guys who can score, eat up the par fives, good history, not just at AMEX or putting on overseeded greens. Good from the proximity ranges, 150 to 200, because that is going to be a very critical area to not screw up. Also go with the short irons. And just, I feel like at the stadium course, especially on Sunday, I think with how firm these greens are going to be, I want a really good iron player. I think it's going to be a lot difficult to get the ball closer to the hole. I think they can set up pin positions where if you do have loose iron play on the stadium course, you can get in trouble pretty quick.
Yeah.
There was a 28-1 earlier in the week on Tony Finau, and I took that. That was one of the first bets I made. I thought that's a good number. So the concerns about him coming into Century was obviously he had the live concerns that turned out to be completely nonsense,
False.
at least for
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
There was also the knee issues, but he played pretty good. He finished 15th. He's been putting a little better ever since last June too. He had that little run last summer where the putter started to get kind of hot. He had some really good finishes. He's got some really good finishes here. He's got a top 5 in his past here. Scores pretty well. He actually has one of the better records putting on overseeded surfaces in his career of, most of his field. You would think that Finau struggles a lot of these greens. And honestly, think about a lot of his wins. Rocket Mortgage, 3M, the Houston Open. It's been on not necessarily like the big boy, like elevated golf courses. It's been kind of on golf courses like this.
Yeah.
So I thought the number on Finau was pretty good. I think his form is pretty good. I was encouraged seeing him do pretty well at Century a couple weeks ago. I'm not concerned with the knee injury, so I bet him 28-1 for an outright.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a fair number. I mean, I think it's actually a good number for some of his skill set in this field that was kind of top heavy to begin with, and then you lose 2 of the top heavy guys. So yeah, I don't hate it.
Okay, all right. I also the first couple weeks I haven't been really happy with my betting card.
Yeah,
I felt like I've been kind of cute with some stuff. I resisted betting Cantlay outright. I did.
good, because you said you were not betting Cantlay anymore this season.
I'm not betting him outright anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
but I can take a positional. I can take a positional, right?
You sure can. Yeah.
And Cantlay just churns out top 20s at this place.
Yep.
And there was a plus 110 on Cantlay top 20, and I took that. I took that because all right, so he's got a lot of top 10 finishes here, a lot of top 20 finishes here. He had that T54 last year, but he was T10 going to the final round, and then credulously shot a 76 on Sunday.
I remember.
Like, what the hell happened? But he was right there. Like, he was just doing exactly what Cantlay usually does. It's dome conditions. He loves putting on these surfaces. I wish the iron play was a little better from under 150, but he's been pretty good over last year from 150 to 200. The iron play actually has gotten a lot better over his last 50 rounds than it was, the first half of last year. I think he hasn't finished outside the top 20 in any event since June. Yeah. So I got a little bit of,
Wait.
That's
he hasn't finished outside the top 20 in any event since June?
I don't think so. He's been on a pretty good streak of top 20s.
Well, he missed the cut at the Memorial. That was June.
That's okay, fine. But all right, how about since the US Open?
He finished 25 at the Open. So
okay, fine. 25.
That's outside of the top 20.
Okay.
So 2, 4. He's only played 6 fucking times since last June.
It's not true.
So since June, he missed the cut at Memorial. That counts in June. US Open, Travelers, 2 top 10s, 25th at the Open, and then 4. So he played 7 times or he played 8 times and he got 6.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so 8 times.
6, 8. 6, 8. 6, 8.
No, it's been
he hasn't played a lot, huh?
No, he hasn't. He's been sitting on his laurels playing, playing Succession. So, but I think he's good to turn out top 20 here, so I bet that. So, all right,
What was
so
numbers look
that's
like last week?
those are my bets for the top of the board, though. I bet Finau outright 28-1, Cantlay top 20 plus 110. That's
Okay.
really about it. So,
All right.
all right, let's move down the card here. Why don't you talk? Because you don't really know where you're going. So why don't you just start naming names and I'll give you opinions or
Well, where do
just
you want-
general
what-
thoughts
what-
on maybe what you want to do.
Where do you want to go? Like, where are we sitting from there? So I have a
We're
question.
going-
All right, so the first guy I have a question on is Kitty.
Okay.
So super solid with his iron play in the range that I'm looking for. I just don't like. I feel like he wins tough courses. Like, I feel like he doesn't win here. Is that just me making it up in my brain?
No, I mean he's only played this once, and it did not go well for him. That was in 2022.
Yeah, he wasn't.
It seems like he has done, and I can see why people like him because he seems like he plays better at places where length is more of an advantage, and it seems like at the stadium course at least, length is becoming more and more an advantage.
Yeah.
At there. The problem though is if this was all 4 rounds at the stadium course, I think I would like him a lot better. But you got Nicholas and you got La Quinta.
Yeah.
And that really is just a free for all at that point. Between all the short irons and
the number's too short. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. He lost an approach at Sony, and his irons are usually better than that. So all right.
Yeah.
So I'll skip him.
As someone who bet Kitayama last week, I was not that encouraged to go back to him here.
All right. So I guess it's Thompson and Davis Hall under 50 before you get to 50.
Okay.
And Harry Hall, I mean, he's playing his ass off. I just don't know if I can get there. Man. I just don't know.
Okay. So I bet Davis Thompson as a
okay. So talk to me about Davis Thompson because I was
all right. So the recent form has not been good. He did not have a very good Hawaii swing. I just look at his body of work over the last year and the things that I'm looking for specifically. For example, under 150 iron play between 150 and 200, he's pretty good. It's not elite, but he's pretty good in those areas. He's a decent putter, but he's putt really well at the AMEX in his career. So suggesting maybe he likes some of these overseeded greens. High birdie rates on the par 5s. He has some pop off the tee, so a little bit of a higher ball flight into some of these firmer greens on the stadium course. And I look back last year and he was in a similar slump and he still finished T21. That's not a great result, but it's a good result considering he wasn't in really great form. And I think he's a better player since then. I think he's got a higher ceiling, and I believe in his talent. And he's 45-1. So I didn't want to bet him positional because I think it really could go either way with him. But taking a shot at him for an outright where he's been good here, where he should have probably won a couple of years ago, and he checks a lot of boxes of the stuff I was looking for in a golfer this week. I like that. So I bet Davis Thompson at 45.
Yeah, and I was looking at Harry Hall, and it's tough for me to get past his fucking soul patch. But I mean, 2 top 10s in Hawaii, and then since October, he played 4 times, all top 20s, another top 10.
Yeah,
He lost an approach last week, but not by much. But I don't know. I don't know if he can get it all together. I think a positional might be better on him. I just don't. I don't see him winning.
I don't know. Well, anytime you say that, that's usually what
I know. Thank you. Yeah.
I think the only thing that really looks bad on paper for Harry Hall on my sheet is he's atrocious from 150 to 200. So that could be somewhere where some of the
175 to 200, he's wicked bad.
Okay. So if it's 175 200, that's actually okay because that's the lesser range.
Yeah.
At same course. It's actually 150 to 175. That's where it's really bad. Just the bucket I have is 150 200. It's a 50-yard range.
Okay.
So but still, it's not really encouraging.
No.
So that's the knock on him.
Yeah.
I went a different direction. You know, I mean,
Okay.
if you want to bet Harry Hall, just racking up birdies and keep it rolling, I can't really fault you. I did not bet that on
Yeah,
my card.
I already have another loser who's just doing well, and then I'm thinking gonna bet. I think I'm just gonna start my card with who I texted you about earlier. I said save your take for him. And first bet, I bet Zalatoris 50.
Okay. So why don't you talk to him? What drew you to Zalatoris then?
So he definitely sparked, right? Like you know me, I'm not a Zalatoris guy. I'm definitely not. I like to fade him a lot of the times. He had a really good fucking round at the Century, if not two. And then when I took a look at it, he didn't really do much. Like maybe he knocked the rust off. Maybe the back end was getting a little better. He lost on approach. He doesn't typically lose on approach. Um, I don't know. This is a birdie fest, so he might not be able to do it. When I went back and kind of looked, but I just felt like a player of his pedigree. You know, when I see, you know me, when I see somebody who I think is a better number, like just his talent alone, he should be better than 50-1. So it wasn't dead in Hawaii, so why not? Like he does not deserve to be priced around the guys he's priced around just based on talent and ceiling.
Okay. I mean, a lot of the concerns I have with Zalatoris is you're right. Like, even though I think conditions are going to be tougher at the stadium course, I would expect winning score
22,
probably
23.
23, 24 under. So, can Zalatoris get to there? Probably one of the reasons you would think he would not get to there is with the putter. But he actually started to putt relatively well towards the end of last year, and that carried into the Century.
Yep.
So that's encouraging. It was really the iron play that let him down, wasn't it? Too, and I was tracking him because we had the charity bet with Homa.
Yeah.
And I thought that was dead. Like Zalatoris actually was playing pretty well heading into Sunday.
Yeah, sure.
And then,
except he hit the wrong fucking ball.
Okay, so that's a fluke. So what was that? That's a 2-shot penalty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would he end up? So if he hit the wrong ball, that was on the approach shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that goes into his iron numbers, strokes gain numbers that day.
Yeah.
So that makes that look bad. So take that out. It's not as bad. He had 2 really good iron performances.
Yep.
So he's added length. He has a top 10 finish here, and he got to, I think, 19 under in that tournament. I mean, he's going to have to do a little better. I actually agree with you that I saw 55-1 on him and compare it to everybody else. If I'm just betting the ceiling on him, I did end up betting him. And
let's go.
Look, the good form is in there, and he can hit a lot of birdies. So if obviously last year his birdie or better rate is terrible because guess what? He was having a bad year. He was coming back from back surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
But in 2022, when he was at the peak of his powers, he was 4th in birdie average on the PGA Tour. The guy can make birdies.
I remember me and you arguing about it and you yelling at me because I would say he can't make birdies, and then you would throw stats in my face that said he could make birdies.
No, he can make birdies. So it's in there. And I think the fact that he's been putting a little better, maybe that'll help him maybe get up to a little bit of a higher score. So I think the iron play can bounce back. So at 55-1 compared to it was like a choice of all right, Will Zalatoris or Patrick Fishburne? Will Zalatoris or JJ Spawn? Will Zalatoris or Harry Hall? Yeah. Zalatoris is a better player. Maybe he's not as suited for this tournament. I will grant you that, but just betting on a player for his ceiling, I thought that was an acceptable number, and I could fit that in my card. It was one of the last guys I bet on my card. I was looking for a guy to fit in this range, and I ended up landing on him. So we're both on Zalatoris at 55-1. So, all right. Anybody you don't like in this range from 30 to 60-1 that you're looking to maybe fade in a matchup?
Cam Young. Every weekend. Every weekend, fading Cam Young.
Okay. So why don't you like Cam Young?
Because he sucks.
Besides, he's Cam Young. Besides, he sucks. Yeah, give him a golf reason.
Okay. He's the eye test guy for me. He couldn't beat Peter Malnati. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get over that. He choked to Peter Malnati coming down on 18. I don't know. I will never get that putt out of my head. Whenever I think about laying money on him, no, I just can't do it. Just can't do it.
Okay. I also I thought about getting cute and betting Cam Young, but I can't do it either. I feel like it's going to be I feel like we've seen this before with a Cam Young. Now, granted, he wasn't at these odds like at 40-1.
Right.
It was more like
right.
he's tournament favorite at an easy birdie fest golf course, and he's like 15-1. And he ends up finishing like T29 or so. You know, maybe he has
Exactly
one or two
right.
rounds that are really good, kind of like what happened at Century, where he got off to a fast start. And then, like, I went back and looked, he kind of flatlined after that opening round.
Yep.
So,
just like, what was that? Was it Habitown last year? Or was it 2 years ago? First round leader, and he just kind of fucking fell off.
no, he finished third at that event.
That same one?
Yeah, it's the same one. He had a good final round too. So, no, it's more like I've seen him at Sawgrass go on like those really big birdie runs, and then just he goes on a 5-hole stretch where it's like, what the hell are you doing, Cam Young? All right, so you want to fade Cam Young? Let me throw out some matchups for you. Then get your opinion. All right, a guy who you think sucks, your former boy, by the way.
Yeah.
Guy you think sucks. Siwoo Kim -110 over Cam Young. Who are you taking?
Cam Young.
You're taking Cam Young.
Dude, I'm out.
So really you want to fade Siwoo then? That's really the guy then. If you hate
I paid
Cam Young,
I paid him last week, and I was
him.
right. He missed the cut. I was right. Like there's something. I'm telling you, there's been something off with Siwoo for the last year and a half, 2 years. He has not been. He's not been Siwoo. The ceiling is gone. Like there's no roller coaster. There's no up and downs. It's just middle to bad.
Okay. All right. We'll do another matchup with Cam Young, and then we'll go back to Siwoo, because it seems like if you pick Cam Young over Siwoo, then that's really the guy you want to fade then for matchups. So we'll do a bunch of matchups with him then at this point.
Okay.
So, but one more with Cam Young. Cam Young -115 over Harry Hall.
Harry Hall.
Okay, fine. All right, there's your matchup there. Okay, let's get to Siwoo then. Let's really test you on Siwoo Kim. Okay. All right. Siwoo Kim -120 over Will Zalatoris. Who are you taking?
Zalatoris.
Okay. Siwoo Kim Davis Thompson -120 over Siwoo Kim.
I guess Thompson, but I'm not confident about that one at all.
Okay. Kurt Kitayama -120 over Siwoo Kim.
Gun in my head, I take Kitayama.
Wow. I can't believe that this is where you're at.
I mean, look at his results, man. I mean, he did good at the Zozo and the BMW, and other than that, he hasn't been good in fucking forever.
No, you have, since we started doing shows together, this was
I know. He was a capo. I know. He was a capo. He wasn't a soldier. He had crew. I know.
I don't know where he really hurt you, though. Because the results haven't been that bad.
I guess, I don't know. I just, when I watch him, like, I don't know. I guess I'm like just a complete fucking degenerate. And it's like the two for the money thing from like Pacino. Like you get just as big as rush when you lose and you win. And I don't even get that. Like I just get these middle of the road performances. Like I get no highs, no lows. I don't think I have a shot, and he's not bottoming out. I'd rather you fail out like incredibly than just kind of middle of the road, a bunch of T30s and 50s and 40s. Like fuck that.
But that's okay though. And
yeah,
by the way, though, all right. So what if I told you from February 4th last year to May 12th, he had 7 top 20s and 10 starts? Like we're not that far removed from that.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right.
And he's hitting the ball. He's still hitting the ball really good.
I feel like that was like a stretch too. Like because prior to that, he wasn't good. Like I'm telling you, I feel like he hasn't been good since like 23. It could be off.
I think you're off on that. He was.
Yeah, that's too long.
Listen, like. Was it spectacular? No, but like he was cashing a lot of bets for you last year. Like he probably in a lot of these tournaments was going off at more than 2-1 for top 20s, and he cashed a lot of those from like February to June. I think you need to reevaluate this a little bit.
All right, okay.
Like I think he's just not as volatile, and you're bored by him. That's the problem.
That could be it.
Okay, you're bored by top 20 bets, and that's all he's really doing.
It's fair.
Okay.
It's fair. You want me to lay down on the couch? And then we can keep talking?
Okay. All right. Couple other guys, because I have some more bets in this range. 2 positionals.
Okay, so who do you have in this range? Because my favorite bet is in this range, which means he's destined to miss the fucking cut.
Okay. All right. Well, I went back.
I want to see if you're on him first.
Probably not, because I went back to 2 losers. Because you yelled at me last week about these guys, and I decided to go back to them this week.
Okay, who you got?
All right, I went back to Tom Hoagie.
That's fine. I mean, he should play well here. Like he should. He's not going to win though. He doesn't win.
I mean, he's won once.
One time. He's been on the tour for 48 years.
It's not true. It's not true. There is a really nice casino nearby, though.
He's so fucked. No,
it's
way.
what
No
I think it's Indian Wells. It's
yeah,
Palm
it is
Desert.
Wells. You're right. Yeah.
That's not great. But listen, he did almost win this event back in 2022. I think that around that scoring is what I think this is going to kind of shake up to be. So the fact that you contended in that one, that's encouraging. The iron play obviously is the lead. I think that's going to help you. Stadium course, he's putt really well in overseas services in his career, so I think he's going to get a little bit of a putting boost. Good birdie rates.
Yeah.
So and he was basically the same number I bet him last week at Wiley, and he was first round leader, so he showed some upside. Kind of flat.
No, he's first round leader 2 weeks ago.
No, he's first round leader at Sony last week.
No, I thought it was 2 weeks ago.
No, that's Century.
I'm pretty sure.
No, last week I think he was tied for the lead.
Oh yeah. It was like a 6-way chop.
It was, but still.
Yeah. But he was first round leader the week before.
Okay, fine. So maybe I should just bet him first round leader then. Okay, maybe.
I mean, 3 weeks in a row.
At that point. So, but he's shown all right. So he's shown a high ceiling in some rounds.
Listen,
and you're gonna need that. So, all right. So I bet him 60-1, and because I completely crapped over Eric Cole after the Century, he did well at Sony.
Yeah.
And I crapped all over Brian Harmon after the Sony. I saw Harmon at 65 and I took it. I know you're disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. I'm
not even mad. I'm just ashamed. I'm ashamed.
It's more me having a lot of trauma in 5 years of podcasting. Holy crap, we've been doing this 5 years. Of guys I just quit on. And they peaked the next week.
I get it.
And honestly, look, for 54 holes, he was really good. And then just the wheels fell off on the back 9. I'm trying to keep my emotions out of it. The stuff I'm looking at this week
the Frodo midget, I believe, is the text I got.
No, I did not call him the M word. I called him a hobbit.
Wait, we can't say midget anymore?
No, that gets you canceled, actually.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. I need a fucking list next to my computer of things I can't say.
You got me. I'll tell you if you canceled or not. The stuff I'm looking at as far as scoring clubs and putting on overseeded surfaces, and he's been pretty good here. I decided to go back because the number was not crazy. It was basically what I bet him last week. I figured I should probably go back to him again, one more time.
One more time. Sure.
Okay.
Just one more time.
I did stick to my guns on 2 guys though. Okay.
Okay.
I said I was not going to bet Eric Cole outright. I said I was not going to bet Ben Griffin outright. I don't care how good they look in my model. Those guys come up short. If they win this week, I'm just going to cash top 20s on them at plus 250 each. Those are my 2 bets on Eric Cole. I'm fine with it. I can live with it. If they win, I'll sleep at night.
So I just shamed you about going back to Harmon.
Oh no. Who'd you go back to?
I went back to Eric Cole. I know I swore him off, but it's the same FOMO that you just talked about. It's the same exact feeling. Like, man, I bet this guy for like a year straight. And then the first tournament, he did terrible. Last week, he did well. And if he had won last week, I would have been absolutely inconsolable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going back to him here. That's it. I'm just going back to him. It's a good number, 65, whatever, or 60 rather. Yeah, I mean, look, hot putter, good approach play. The only problem is like, and I know there's no actual correlation to this, but when you look at his starts, he doesn't put a ton of like great starts back to back.
Probably not. I don't know. I'm not a big Eric Cole truther who's constantly grinding over his data golf page, so I can't validate that fact. But if you say it's true, I will trust your judgment.
Well, that's a mistake. But yeah, I mean, his irons last week were so good. He gave almost 6. He gave him
Yeah,
a
I
6
mean,
on
listen,
approach.
that's Eric Cole in a nutshell, though.
Yeah, so that's it. So look at this. So last week, 5, 52, 15 and 6, fine. Miscut, 16, miscut, 46, 7, 18. Yeah, he's only put 2 back-to-back good starts together twice, 3 times since June. That's fine.
Yeah.
Be a
Well,
four.
listen, that is what keeps people going back to like Eric Cole is
Yeah.
you see those eye-popping iron numbers, but then you forget that on Friday he missed a 2-footer for bogey.
Yeah.
And that how much did he lose by last week? He
Oh,
lost
yeah,
by
shitty. Yeah, he had a shitty Sunday too.
no, all right. So sorry, all right, okay. So he doubled. He made a complete mess of 7.
Yeah.
Double bogey that hole. He lost. He was out of the playoff by 2. There you go, right there. That's the Eric Cole experience at that point.
That's the worst.
So,
all right. I feel like we're running long, but
not to mention on literally this Sunday, he
Okay.
was T5, started off with a bogey, 2 holes
Yes.
later, double bogey, and he doesn't make any birdies on Sundays until he's out of it. He's like he was +3, and then he threw off 3 birdies in a row, and by then like
He was John Rahm at majors prior to the Masters.
he's poor man's Patrick Cantlay. This is what Cantlay does.
It's true.
Cantlay does not
That's a
get
good
comfortable
comp.
until he's 10 back, and then he decides to wake up.
That's a good comp.
Yeah. So, all right.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of losers in this range that
All
I
right,
consider.
let me talk to you about this is my favorite bet.
All right, fine. What's your favorite bet?
Nico.
Echevarria. I know you don't want to say the last name.
No, definitely not. Thank you.
Okay.
But first of all, Echevarria is so bad with my accent. Like this is that one client I had called Ba, and like everybody who I worked with back then, like they made me say it over and over again. Yeah, I mean, dude, 2 top 3 finishes. Like he's good from putting from fucking 5 to 15 feet. His irons look good. I don't like, and he's a birdie machine. So I don't know why he is priced at 65 to 1.
Well, so they price it based on the long-term stuff, and some of his longer-term stuff is not very good because he just
he
wasn't a good player until the last 6 months, essentially.
October, yeah, whatever. He finally popped. He's probably 42 too, but whatever. Like he looked great last week. Tee to green, he gained over 6. I know. And his fall swing, he won the Zozo. I think he top 10 at least once, if not twice.
Yeah, which is actually kind of it's a decent comp course for Stadium Course in Nicholas, at least.
Yeah. So I just think the price is wrong.
Okay.
And I was on him in the Century, and he disappointed. And of course, I got him off him last week, and he was in the mix. So.
Yeah, I mean, I consider like, are we just sleeping on Nico just because he hit, we lost in a playoff last week. Oh, he can't win this week.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? But also almost bet Sepp Straka. Did not get there. Almost did though. So I think that's a good bet. He was the last guy off my card. If I'm going for really good iron play. Yeah, that's a good price. I mean, it's basically what I would have gotten last week. He was around that range of like Harman and Hoagie, of guys who I bet last week who were right around that same range, who, other than making me just really upset on Sunday, like with their performance overall in the tournament, didn't do anything really to like offend me, say like, I want to get off you. But I didn't end up getting to him. I think he'll be good on Stadium Course. I don't trust him on La Quinta and Nicholas with how easy those courses are, that I feel like one of those 2 days he's just going to get a little far behind.
Yeah,
so,
no, I can agree with that.
But I like him.
So bombs from like 75 or 70 deep. Who do you like deep?
Okay,
we'll rattle off a couple of names. We'll put our betting guys out in the Discord.
All right. This will be another guy that you're just going to shake your head at me.
Okay.
Because he's a loser, and I know he's a loser. I've said bad things about him within the last 2 months publicly.
Are there golfers that we haven't said bad things about?
I never say a bad word about Henrik Stenson.
I've never said anything bad about Cam Smith.
Yeah, so I guess
that's about
we
it.
have our guys. That's about it. I took a swing on Cam Davis at 90-1.
Oh, I don't hate that. I was on him last week, and fucking goddamn our Cam mushed him like fucking always. The goddamn mushes.
So that's the thing. So at Century, I don't think he was all that popular, and got off to a really bad, kind of an ugly click.
Yep.
And played well.
Yep.
You know, I think top 15 finish was inside. I think the top 10 heading into the final round, and he got to a horrible start too. So it was a good rally. So then he was popular last week and completely crapped the bed.
I don't even think he was popular last week. I didn't see him on many betting cards other than.
I think he was popular. I think he was popular in DFS last week.
Oh, okay.
So and now, crap the bed. He's been good here. Again, like if I'm looking at like good iron play from like under 150 and between like 150 to 200, he fits the bill there. High birdie rates, decent putter on overseed in his career. I thought at 90-1, kind of like a similar like line of thinking with Davis Thompson. Like I just believe in the kid's talent and ceiling and upside. And he fits a lot of things I'm looking for. And I thought 90-1 for Cam Davis was a pretty good price. So I took him.
I like it. I like that a lot. Okay. What do you think of Hodges?
Lee Hodges?
Yeah.
I mean, I know short. I mean, it's fine. I think you're paying a lot more than you did last week. I think you could have gotten him at like 151 last week. Now you're paying 75-1 this week. He obviously has a good finish here a couple years ago. He's got good iron play. The putter definitely is shaky with him, but he's a little better on overseed in his career. I mean, if you want to go to Lee Hodges this week, I think he's a popular pick. It seems like he's on the tip chart. So
yeah, he's on the tip chart. That's why I asked. So I didn't bet him, but he's one of these guys who I've like written down written all over next to him. I'm off of Shank. I'm off of Novak. I'm debating Vegas. I don't feel like Vegas fits well here. I know his course history blows.
So so for whatever reason, he's really high in the model. And I think it's because driving distance and iron play from 150 to 200 and birdie rates. But you're right, though. So he did finish actually, is he he's a former winner, the Bob Hope.
Like forever ago.
Yeah, it's before they played the stadium course, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like 14 years ago, that's not relevant anymore.
No.
So yeah, I that was one where I ignored my model and said, I'm just going to bet another loser.
So over 101, I was looking at EVR, even though there's water on the course.
So this is actually going to be my gummy play of the week.
Oh, well, fuck you. That was going to be my gummy play of the week.
Well, that's too bad. Okay, I picked it first.
Okay, I'll play it. I don't give a shit.
So not on my betting card because I just ran out of guys for outrights.
No.
There's a couple other guys in this range I like a little better that I bet instead. And
who you got?
I may bet EVR positional, but I got a lot of guys on positional already, and I don't think at this venue I want to really get overloaded.
Load up. Yeah.
On that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like EVR this week. Good course history, T30 last week. His iron play towards the second half of last year in the fall wasn't all that great, but I think he gained a little bit last week.
Yeah,
so maybe he's on the upswing.
He's good. He's good from 125 to 150, 150 to 125. Man.
Yeah, I like EVR. Let us another question. You're gonna just roll your eyes. Look, TGL aside, and how embarrassing he was last week. Listen, Ricky looked all right in the fall last year.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I didn't bet him.
Sucks.
I know he sucks, but he looked okay in the fall. What are you talking? He did. You're denying that he looked good in the fall last year?
He looked fine. He was never a threat to win ever.
He finished fourth at Zozo.
There wasn't actually a threat to win. How many shots out did he finish out?
He finished 3 shots out of the lead.
Yeah, which is at the Zozo might as well be 100.
Okay. Plus 150 for a top 40 for Ricky?
Nope. Oh, top 40?
Yeah.
All right. I don't hate that.
Okay. That's not a bad bet. I think I considered that one. That's not a terrible bet. All right. So I bet this guy top 40 and I bet him outright. I bet Alex Smalley at 125-1.
Okay, talk to me about that.
Okay. So decent course history here. Couple top 30s, I believe. hits the ball pretty
Yeah.
good at the stadium course. T15 last week, and he hit the ball all right from tee to green.
Yeah.
Decent
Green
birdie
gained almost
rates.
5.
Yeah, decent birdie rates. Got a little bit of length too, and I think that's an advantage of the stadium course. And
Top
he's
15
done
at
well.
3M.
Like, yeah, he's done well.
Top
Like
5 at Sanderson.
Yeah, top 5 of Sanderson. He did well at like a John Deere, those type of events. So I feel like these type of events, like he has not won yet, but I think this could be one that he could potentially clip off,
I don't
and he
hate
shows
that.
high ceiling.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, so 125 to 1 at Alex Smalley. And then I mentioned him on the show on Sunday. You poo-pooed it. But 150 to 1 Rico Hoy.
I just can't get
I know you just don't like him.
Well, it's not about liking him. It's just that, like, I told you, it's just like there's certain things that just stick with me, and like that's it. You're just labeled forever, right? Like once you're a rat, you're always a rat. Once that dude airmailed that fucking green by 60 feet against a bunch of stiffs, which Harry Hall won, the ISCO, whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah,
I was like, nope, I'm good. The pressure just squeezed that man, and he fucking shot that thing to the fucking moon. And I was like, nope, I'm never betting on this guy.
All right. Since the U.S. Open last year, T6 at Rocket Mortgage, T2 at ISCO, T8 at Barracuda, T3 at Shriners, T17 Bermuda, T22 Zozo, T21 Black Desert.
Yeah.
Look, I
hear you.
A lot of good finishes.
I get it.
And a lot of these, like, just weaker events, low level, easy tournaments.
If he's going to win any of them, it'll be even weaker than here. And because I just watched that man melt under pressure. Like, and that takes a while to get out of my head. Like, look, if you hit a bad shot and you miss a putt or whatever, but just to completely like fucking implode on a playoff, that's a different animal to me.
Okay. So I bet him at 150 to 1, and I also bet him for a top 40 plus 150.
Top 40 plus 150, love that bet. What's his top 20? I don't even mind.
Top 20 is probably closer to like
325.
Like probably 4 to 1 is my guess.
I don't mind that at all.
There you go. For a high win. Okay. Maybe you join me on that with a top 20 for him.
I'm right with that. Okay. Why not?
All right.
Okay. Oh, last loser I had to ask you about. I know we're running fucking super long. My German friend, Schmid.
Matthias?
Yes.
So I get it because he's got that really high finish at AMEX a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's a great putter.
Yep.
I wasn't really all that enthused on what he did after Shriners last year, because that's not really in anyone's data. I mean, he got cut at Worldwide, T59 Alfred Dunhill in Europe.
Yeah.
I get it because he can make a lot of birdies. And he's got those 2 fall events that makes you think, okay, he can do it at this type of event, and he's done it here before. I didn't get there with him.
Okay.
I don't hate it though. I mean, he was good in my rabbit hole model. I get it. I understand why you'd want to bet him. Just didn't make my card this week. Can't bet them all.
Okay. Well, that wasn't. Okay. Oh, one last guy,
Rio Hisatsume?
Yeah.
I don't really have an opinion on him, to be honest. Okay. I kind of feel like he always is good in these models, and he's just
Yeah. I mean, I know he top 5 at the Wyndham.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he lost 3 strokes probably last week.
Like nothing. I'm seeing nothing like the iron play is not impressive on him. Off the tee's not impressive. So I feel like he probably did well in the course model I did because of easy conditions.
Okay, that makes sense.
You just mentioned a couple of tournaments that are very easy conditions.
Yeah,
probably why.
Okay, that makes sense
there. Well, I feel like we can't end this show without talking about our good buddy Carson Young, who was number 24 in my model. I feel like we got to bring our super producer, Carson Young's best friend, producer Cam, on the show. Hi, Cam. How we doing, buddy? There you are. Now we got everybody on stage. Okay. How How much of your kid's college tuition did you bet on Carson Young after you saw he was number 24 in my model this week?
Like I said, he's 200 to 1. So if I bet his entire college tuition, then I can have like 20 kids and I can send them all to college.
Now, would you send 20 kids to like, would it be community college for all that tuition, or would it be Harvard at that point? Uh-oh, you're breaking up there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm at a hotel.
You're back now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back now.
All
right.
Yeah. So my thing with Carson this week, oh shoot, yeah, ignore my work shirt, Josh. My thing with Carson this week is I don't think, has he played here before? Has he played this tournament before?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he played this. Yeah, he's actually, I have him gaining 3.6 strokes tee to green at the stadium course.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Is there good fishing around there?
probably not. I think there is a saltwater lake near there. That
He's
probably
more of a bass guy.
That's
He's more of a bass guy. You know who I also like this week is Channy P.
Speak like an adult.
Chandler
Cam.
Phillips.
Speak like an adult. Nobody knows who Channy P is. You're a grown
Chandler
man. Speak
Phillips.
like a
Chandler
grown man.
Phillips, yeah.
Who screwed us all last week after we talked him up.
Yeah, but I was talking to Steve before
that's
the
right.
show. I've been a week ahead. I was on Denny McCarthy 2 weeks ago. Then he had a good week last week. So I'm going back. My gummy play is going to be Chandler Phillips this week.
Okay.
Josh's is Carson Young.
Okay. So Carson Young last year, he shot a 64 in round 2 at La Quinta. That was tied for the best round of the day that day.
Boom.
And they shot a final round 65 at the stadium course.
I need to look when he plays at La Quinta this week.
I'm guessing he probably doesn't start there. All the best players are starting at La Quinta for the most part.
Okay, so
you get 2 days at the stadium.
Tomorrow matchups.
Yeah, so how it's going to go is it goes La Quinta, Nicholas Stadium in that order. So then it'll be Nicholas Stadium, La Quinta, and then Stadium, La Quinta, Nicholas, that in that order. So if you're looking at PGA Tour leaderboard, seeing where they're starting, that is the progression for this week.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything else. You guys have anything else?
Nope.
Okay. I will post my betting card on the Discord channel shortly. I'll have the entire thing up, and we'll just continue to chop shop in the Discord. Definitely sign up. If you haven't done already, it's a great time. A lot of sharp minds there, not just talking golf, but also football and tennis as well. A lot of sharp guys betting the Australian Open and cashing bets there. So go sign up. Become an insider, InsideSportsNetwork.com. You won't regret it.
Yeah, definitely not. I'll post mine at some point, probably tomorrow night. Like I said, solo dadding. I got 2 kids' doctor's appointments and work tomorrow. So yay me, adulting is fun. And it should be. I hope this is a good tournament. This is usually a slog, but hopefully, I feel kind of decent about the stuff we talked about tonight, though. Which makes me a little more excited. First round leader bets suck here. 3 balls should be interesting. No 3 balls for me this week, Steve. I told you can't let me do 3 balls this week.
Okay. Can't wait for you to send them all on Wednesday night then.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll be back.
Stay strong. Stay strong.
Stay strong. Are we going early this week?
We're gonna have to, because we probably should not go up against football. We'll talk after the show. I was thinking probably Sunday morning. We go live with Farmers preview, and then we're also gonna have to go on Monday night for a pick show.
Yeah, which is fine because it starts on Wednesday.
Starts on Wednesday.
But I will say, let's not make it too early on Sunday morning. My firstborn, my baby girl, turned 21 tonight, and she is coming home, and she wants me, Uncle Pete, Uncle Tommy, and all the moms to take her out. So I might be hurting on Sunday morning.
Okay. All right. I was thinking
she's 21 and I'm old.
All right. I was thinking 5:30 a.m. start time on Sunday
Yeah, that's
morning.
never gonna happen, Steve. Even
All right,
even if I
all
was
right.
sober as a judge, I'm not fucking waking up at 5:30.
All right, then you know what? We'll have to negotiate that between now and then. So
I
you know,
think 10:30 is fine. 10:30 will be all right.
okay. I was thinking 10 o'clock a.m. actually.
10:30 sounds good.
Fine. 10:15. Let's let the baby.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
We'll talk to you motherfuckers later.
All right.
Bye.